everyone, my name is Becca, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here with my February wrap-up. So, I had already filmed this video, like a week or so ago, and I had it all ready and set to upload, and I was in the middle of uploading it when it just kept aborting. Every time I tried to upload, it would just abort, and so I ended up just putting up my book haul last week because I didn't have any choice. I needed to put something up, and that one went fine. It never aborted or anything. So we're gonna try this again. Maybe this was too long the last time. It was in the 45-minute range, so maybe that was the issue. That means I can't talk too long in this video, like I normally do. So no rambling, hopefully. I will say though that I did already talk about these books in my weekly reading updates, so I will leave those linked down below for you guys if you want to know more about my thoughts, though I will try to be as succinct as possible in telling you my thoughts. So there we go. For my stats, so I gotta talk about that. I do like talking about my stats in my wrap-up videos. Like, I read 19 books this month, which was really good. That was 6,444 pages, which I thought was pretty damn good. And there was 2 2-stars, 2 3.5 stars, 10 4-stars, and 5 5-stars, which, holy hell, that all came up to be a 4.0 average rating, which is so good. I feel like that's really good. I do try to pick books that I really like, that I think I'm gonna love, so I think that's the reason for that. Where I sourced these, I had 9 for my own TBR, or my own physical TBR. 7 of those I got prior to 2020, and 2 of those I bought in 2020. 1 was a reread, 2 I got from NetGalley, 3 were ones I hauled on my Kindle for the month of February, 2 I had already owned on my Kindle, 1 was from Kindle Unlimited, and 1 was from Hoopla. There's a lot of reading on my phone, but here we go. So yeah, I've pretty much only read, what, 11 physical books? Yeah, I guess there was 10. So where do I... Oh no, 10. Where did I get 11 from? I meant 10. Apparently I can't count. Okay, so what I've been starting to do for my wrap-ups in 2020 is I will rank them from my least favorite, so starting off at number 19, to my most favorite, which is number 1. So starting off at number 19, man, that is A Husband for Santa by Doreen Herron. This I received from NetGalley, which I very much appreciate receiving these books, but for some reason I'm just not loving all of them, and I feel really bad giving a not so great review, but it is what it is. I do receive these for an honest review. I have to be honest and say I didn't like it. I gave this a 2-star, so it wasn't that bad. I think I gave The Girl the Sea gave back a 1-star, right? Like, so this isn't as bad as that, but I went into this looking for something quirky, something fun, something Christmassy, and I got the Christmassy vibe. It was semi-quirky, but it was mostly just annoying. We follow Turk, who is the son of Father Christmas, and he has been bred to take over the family business, and when it finally comes down to him taking over, his father just won't give up his power unless his son finds a wife to help take over the family business, to help shoulder some of the responsibility. And Turk, who is gay, doesn't want a partner, doesn't feel like he needs one. He definitely doesn't want a wife, but he doesn't feel like he needs a husband either. He feels like he can do this on his own. And so his father still is adamant about it, and Turk ends up going to the human world to just see how everything is there. He ends up meeting Sim, who is studying Christmas. I don't know. And they get to talking, things lead to another. It's very rushed. The romance is pretty rushed. I also felt like the characters were super annoying, so that didn't help. The characters end up saying or doing things that just rub me the wrong way or I just don't agree with, and I just didn't love this. I didn't feel like I would really, really love it, but I was hoping for something enjoyable, and it just wasn't, so I ended up giving it only 2 stars, obviously. Again, I do really appreciate NetGalley for accepting my request and gifting that to me, or letting me get that, but I just wish I liked it more. So after that, number 18 is Preacher Man by Jessica Kane. This I got from Kindle Unlimited, but I had already had it saved on my phone because when I got the other Jessica Kane books, I guess I got this one as well. This was interesting. Like I said, it's number 18. It wasn't anything great. It's a preacher kink, and there's daddy kink, and there's a lot of stalking. I mean, this preacher guy watches this girl, this 18-year-old girl, outside of her window. It's interesting. But we follow this 18-year-old girl who's hot for her preacher. We find the preacher is, I guess, on the run, and he finds this small town and becomes their preacher. He's just a normal guy, and he just becomes their preacher. I don't think he had any, I don't think he was one before, and I think he was kind of scamming them, to be honest, and I don't really remember too much. This is really short. It's 50 pages. But, yeah. If you're into preacher kink or daddy kink, I guess give it a shot. I don't know. It's Jessica Kane. I don't really jive well with her writing or her plots. I won't say, like, they're all bad. Like, it's a 2-star. It's not great, but it's not awful either. I didn't overly hate it. I was just weirded out, I guess. I don't know if this is for me, but I've seen this around. I wanted to give it a shot. There is a sexual there's a sexual exorcism in this, and I was interesting. But yeah, okay, that one's over. Gotta stop talking about that one. Okay, so my 3.5 star books, which we're coming up to number 17 now, we have Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey. This is the sequel to Fix Her Up. And then this one we follow Rosie and Dom, who are a married couple that we meet in the first book. And their marriage has kind of gone downhill. They've hit a rough patch, and Rosie's just decided she's had enough, and she just wants out of her marriage. Dom is finally understanding that Rosie is leaving him, and he realizes that he doesn't want her to leave, and he wants to stay married to her. He wants to keep her in his life, and so he does what he can in order to win her back. There is like a marriage therapist. It's like marriage boot camp. That was kind of fun. There were some really good moments in this. There were some things though I didn't agree with what like Dom or Rosie would do or say, but I did like the fact that it came to be known that both of them were at fault for this marriage going downhill. It wasn't just one or the other's fault. It was both of them. It takes two to make a marriage, and I did really like that. And there is some like miscommunication here that I don't really agree with, but overall this was good. This was fine. It didn't wow me like Fix Her Up did. I devoured Fix Her Up, and I have to say, like, I was enjoying this, which is why I gave it a 3.5 and not just a 3-star. They just didn't, give me that level of 4-star it normally would, but I did really enjoy this, and I am glad that I read this and I picked it up. And there is going to be a 3rd book in the series, which I'm really looking forward to. So I am glad that I read this. I'm not upset about it. I know a lot of people are giving it a 2-star, which I can understand, but to me, this wasn't awful by any means. It wasn't, it was enjoyable to read. So that's why I gave it a 3.5. So then we have number 16, the other 3.5 star. This one was also enjoyable to read, but it was also a really big disappointment because I did plan on giving this one a 5-star rating, and that was Wild at Heart by Kay Tucker. I pre-ordered this like months in advance. Or whenever it was available for pre-order, I pre-ordered it. I wanted this book so badly. I was so looking forward to this because The Simple Wild is now one of my favorite books of all time. It's fantastic. I love it. This one, on the other hand, it kind of disappointed me. If you don't want to hear any spoilers on The Simple Wild, I will say just wait till I put this down and then, or you could just fast forward to the next book. That's fine. But know that I gave this a 3.5, and I would have loved this to be a 5-star. This one follows Jonah and Kala as they are finding domesticated life. They are living in Alaska together. They're together. After the events of the first book, we're really happy to finally have Jonah and Kala together. This is great. But nothing really happens. It's just a lot of domesticated life. They buy a house, they get furniture. I don't know. They try to run a business together. It's a lot of stuff that just, it's fine. Nothing really happens, and nothing really big. Not until pretty much the last half is where things finally start to move up a notch, which is pretty nice. I can get through a book with nothing really exciting happening as long as the characters are good. And the characters were okay. But it would have been better if Kala wasn't so damn annoying. She was just very negative about a lot of things, and that really upset me. So, I just, she's with Jonah. She's, they're living together. Everything is great for them. But she's just not satisfied, and she's not finding anything to satisfy her. And I'm just like, what was the point of doing any of this if you're just not happy? And stop blaming him for a lot of things. I was so annoyed with Kala for a lot of it that I gave it a 3.5 pretty much because of that. It got better in the last half when Kala finally started coming into her own, and but they were both kind of annoying. I was kind of hoping for this, honeymoon period, but I guess you get most of that in the first book. I guess. There was just a lot of fighting, a lot of negativity, and I could have gone with something a little bit more lighthearted, but it's fine. It was a 3.5. Who knows? Maybe with a reread, I might enjoy it just a little bit more. We'll see how that goes. So now we're on my 10 4-star books. Oh man. So what? We're at number 15? Yeah, right. So number 15 through 13? Yeah? Okay. I can't do math. I really suck at this. But we have the Wicked Villains series. There's 3 books. We have Desperate Measures. They're all by Katie Robert. Learn My Lesson is the second book, if this will load. There we go. And, oh my god. Why? And then we have A Worthy Opponent. They are all villain retellings. They're erotic, smutty, fun. This one follows Jasmine and Jafar. Jasmine is the daughter of, oh my god, I almost said son. Jasmine is the daughter of, I want to say a drug lord or something like that. And Jafar is his right hand. And one day her father decides to sell her to this monster, Ali. And Jafar he claimed Jasmine as his own. And so he ends up killing her father and taking her. And there's some BDSM references. I mean, it's pretty good. I I gave them all 4 stars. I really enjoyed the series. I enjoyed the sweatiness. It was pretty hot. Yeah. Well, I think what really gives them a 4-star rating is I really love the female characters. They really come into their own by the end, and I really enjoy that. So in Learn My Lesson, stop doing that. We have Meg, Hades, and Hercules. It's a polyamorous relationship, which are my favorites. And Meg is a strong woman who can depend on a man when she wants to. And I really like these. You know, Hercules is the son of a rival. Hades, he owns this underground, I guess it's a sex club. It's the underworld. And Hercules is a son of one of his rivals, or is a son of his rival. And he ends up bringing Hercules into the fold in order to, I guess, make Hercules' father, Zeus, angry and just humiliate him. So that was a thing. It's pretty good. I will say I would have liked more of the 3 of them. We do get it by the end, and it's great. But it was more of like, it's Meg and Hercules, Hades and Meg, or Hades and Hercules, and it was just like Hades and Hercules. I wanted the 3 of them quite a bit. I got it by the end. I just would have liked more of it. And then we have a worthy opponent, which is Hook and Tink. Tink has been under contract with Hades for 5 years. She is trying to stay away from Peter, who abused her a long time ago. And now that her 5 years are up for the contract, she's on her own. And Peter is after her again. Hook ends up taking Tink, or offering Tink protection in return for her marrying him, so they can get back at Peter. And that was pretty good. I think my favorite is Desperate Measures, but I have enjoyed all 3 of these. I am really looking forward to the 4th one, which is The Beast, which is another polyamory, I want to say. It's Gatan, the Beast, and Isabella, I want to say her name is. So I'm really looking forward to that. So now we're down to number 12. And we have another book I got from NetGalley. This one I will say I'm kind of stupid for. But let's talk about it first. That is Down on Me by Jay Kenner. This one I saw on NetGalley. It was just a read now one. You didn't have to request it. You could just read it right then and there. And it's the first book in the Man of the Month series. Yeah. And this one, we follow Reese, who manages this bar. And this bar is having a lot of financial troubles. And Reese's friend, best friend Jenna, comes back to town. And they, what's it called? Reese, Jenna, and then there's another friend of theirs. They're like the 3 amigos. Reese has always had a crush on Jenna, or at least he has for a really long time. But he's never really done anything, just because they've always been best friends, and he didn't want to, ruin that friendship. But when things start to go really bad with the bar and they come under financial troubles, he enlists Jenna in helping with just try to bring in more money. So they end up doing this calendar, and they're going to do this contest in order to find who's going to be the man of the month, whose picture is going to be on each month's calendar, and hopefully, we'll bring in more customers and bring in some more money, and it'll help them try to get the money that they need by the end of the year. It's pretty good. I really did enjoy the romance. I enjoyed quite a lot of this, actually. I give this 4 stars. And this is where I'm kind of stupid. So I got this book from NetGalley, and I don't know what was going through my mind, but I thought that this was a 2020 release. To find out it's actually a 2018 release, is it 2018? Yeah, it was 2018 release. And the whole series is out. So I thought that I needed to review this book before it was already released in my mind when I had read it. I think I got it like the day after or the day of its release or something like that. So I didn't worry about reviewing it before its release date because it was over. And then to find out, well, it's been 2 years. So that's where I was kind of stupid. It's fine though. I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. So that was a plus. Alright, next up we have Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. See, that's why I thought it was Time on Time. It is supposed to be Time on Time. This is next. This is number 11. Alright? I can't do any math. But yeah, this is number 11. Twice in a Blue Moon will be next. This is by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is the next book in the Dark Hunter series. This is a Dark Hunter novel. I think this is number 21. Would help if... Oh no, this is number 17. Or did I get 21? So yeah, this is number 17. This one follows Ren, who we know from Retribution, and Kateri. Kateri, we don't know. She's a new character. It's their romance. This is more of a Native American mythology, though we do get a little Greek, and I think there's like a reference to Egyptian mythology as well. And it's the end of the world. Kateri is the key to saving the world. Ren has to keep her safe. It's that whole shtick. I really enjoy it. I have loved this series. I thought I was going to really not like this one, but for some reason I actually really loved it. And I don't know... a friend I used to have read these books as well as I did, and she was up to here, and this is where she really hated this. But I think because of my love for all different kinds of mythology, I still really enjoyed this. I will say a lot of it went over my head because I don't really know Native American mythology well, but it was still really, really good. Sherilyn Kenyon really knows how to give you that tragic backstory and knows how to just make you completely fall in love and just heartbreak for these characters. And it was really good. 4 stars. So now we can come up to Twice in a Blue Moon, which is number 10. This is by Christina Lauren. This one, we follow we follow Tate, who is on vacation with her grandmother in London. She ends up meeting Sam, who's with his grandfather, who's also vacationing there. And they are staying at the same hotel, and they just always get together. And Sam and Tate end up having this like whirlwind romance for like a little bit. Tate ends up telling Sam who she is, that she is the daughter of this famous actor. She's the long lost daughter of the famous actor. And her and her mom have just been out of the spotlight, and they just gotten away. And she ends up telling Sam like everything, and then it gets out. And of course she believes it was Sam, because who else could have done it? So now it's 14 years later, and Tate is now a rising star of her own, and she becomes the lead in this movie. She's the star of this movie, and she believes this will be her Oscar-winning performance, and she's just so excited to start working on this. The only drawback is she has to work with her father, but it's all worth it in order to be a part of this movie. And then she gets on set and she finds out the writer who came up with this movie is none other than Sam. So there's your, confrontation, your conflict. It's a lot. It's really good, actually. I give this 4 stars. A lot of people I've been noticing giving it 2 and 3 stars. I enjoyed it. I do say I wanted more in the middle. Like in the beginning, we get their whirlwind romance when they're like 18, or she's 18. I think he's like 21. And then, of course, we get the ending where it's a happily ever after. Everything is great. But, like, where's the middle? That's all I'm asking for. It's just more of them in the middle. And we got, like, a little bit. But it's kind of brushed over, I feel. But still, it was enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. 4 stars. Okay, number 9. Okay, number 9 is a book that I read for my favorite booktubers' favorite books of 2019, and that was Dark Dawn. This one was on Mel to the Ennies list. It was on a lot of lists, but I picked from hers, just because I think this is the only book from Mel to the Ennie that I hadn't read or wanted to read. And obviously this is Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. This is the 3rd and final book in the Nevernight Chronicles. I loved Nevernight, gave that 5 stars. I really enjoyed God's Grave. I think I gave that one 4 stars. And then I have Dark Dawn, which I also gave 4 stars. I wanted to give this a 5 star. I will say it was a really solid conclusion. I love seeing Mia and all of my other characters, Mr. Kindly and Eclipse. I really enjoyed all of them. I really like the familial bonds in this. The first book is all of the school setting, which I really love, which is why I gave that 5 stars. The second book is the gladiator arena setting, and then this one is the revenge, and what else was it? The political aspects really came into this one. And it was fine. Like, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But I want that school setting back. I love that school setting. And it just didn't wow me like the first book did. I will say there was some things I wanted to happen which didn't. I'm not going to say what it was. But I'm just going to say some things I wanted to see and I didn't. But that's just me. But 4 stars is good. I still really enjoy the series overall. I thought this was a really solid conclusion. And what else can I say? Okay, so now we are at number 8, right? And that's Archangels Legion by Nalini Singh. This one we follow Elena Raphael again. We have angels falling from the sky. We have vampires getting really sick and dying, and possibly of disease. And also our people, my archangel, is on the brink of war with another archangel. What are they going to do? I really enjoyed this. Like, I give this 4 stars. I've given, I think, the first 2 5 stars, and then after that it's all just been 4 stars. I really love this series. I'm really glad I'm continuing on with this series. This is number 6. Yeah, number 6 in the Guild Hunter series. And what can I say? You get to see a lot of your characters in here. It's back to Elena Raphael, which I absolutely love. There is more conflict in this one than we've gotten previously, but it's really good, and I really liked it. So there you have it. And then number 7, we have Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. This is historical romance, I should say. And we follow Annabelle, I want to say her name is. Yeah, so we're set in England in 1879, and we follow Annabelle, who is one of the first female students at Oxford. She's got a scholarship, which, okay, I guess I didn't remember that part. But, so she ends up joining the women's suffrage movement, and she needs to recruit men to influence of influence to champion the movement. I do remember that. And she ends up meeting Montgomery, who is the Duke. And nobody has ever gone up to Montgomery and asked him, but she's just like, what? We need his help. We're gonna get it. And her and Montgomery end up having this great, witty conversation. It's just a lot of bantering back and forth, and I absolutely loved it. I loved their romance. I loved just everything about them. It was just really good. I do love the London Victorian setting, and I just love this cover. I just really, really enjoyed this. I think there's gonna be a sequel. I want to say there's a sequel. Yes, the fall of this year. It's gonna be Lucy and Tristan's story, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I just really loved the romance. Really loved the writing, the wittiness, the bantering. I love it. 4 stars. Our last 4-star, which is number 6, is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. Oh man, so this one we follow a mother and a daughter. So at first, in the very beginning, we follow Morgan, who is the mother, but she's 17 here, and she's just out of high school when she finds out she's pregnant, and her and her boyfriend end up getting married and raising their daughter, and then we have, of course, 17 years later, Clara, their daughter, is obviously 17, and Morgan, I want to say is 34, but math really sucks. I want to say 34. Pretty sure. Yeah. So Morgan ends up waking up on her 34th birthday and just feeling like she's stuck in a rut. She really has nothing of her own. She's dependent on her husband for everything. And she's a housewife, so she doesn't really have any friends outside of her family. She doesn't have, a career or anything that, is just hers. So, she decides to go back to school, and, what's it called? She decides to go back to school, and she decides to go back to school, in order to find something that's for her, and then tragedy strikes, and she's stuck having to provide for her family, where, before she didn't. Clara is just angry at everything and anything, which is understandable. It's just, there's a lot of conflict between Morgan and Clara now. They weren't overly close before, but now they feel even more distance between them. And now they need to try and find something to bring them closer together. Or the relationship with each other is just going to end up falling apart. I really like the romances in here. Clara ends up getting a boyfriend. Of course, it's right when his tragedy strikes. And maybe this isn't the greatest time for her to have a new person in her life. But they make it work. It's really cute. I really enjoyed this. I've given a lot of Colleen Hoover's books 5 stars before. I don't think this is the first 4-star, but still, I really, really loved Colleen Hoover's writing, and I love her characters, and I sob like a baby when I read them, and that's pretty much what happened. I just really like the romances, the conflict. I enjoyed everything. There's a lot of revelations that come up in this that Morgan has to deal with, and they're not great. But I really enjoyed it. So if you haven't picked this up yet, and you really like Colleen Hoover, I highly recommend it. So now we're to our 5-star books, and it's already 35 minutes. Okay. So, number 5, we have Lover Mine. This is Jacques and John Matthews' book. This is number 8? Here we go again. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, this is number 8 in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. Like I said, it's John Matthew and Jacques' story. It's their romance. It's their book. I love them. I was super excited for this one to finally happen, or for me to finally get to it. And you find out more about Jacques and her backstory and how it sort of connects to John Matthew just a little bit. And yeah, what can I say? 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. And then the next 5-star read is the other book I needed to read for, it's the other one I picked for the Booktubers Favorites of 2019, and that was Wolf Song by TJ Klune. This was, I got the recommendation from Jess from Peace Love Books. This is pretty much Twilight, but with werewolves. We follow Ox, who, when he's really young, his father ends up leaving him, and Ox ends up becoming the man of the house and reaching out to his dad's former boss in order to find a job so he can help take care of the house with his mom. And this goes over many years. So years later, a new family comes or moves to the small town, and Ox ends up meeting Joe. And when they first meet, Joe just can't stop talking to him. It's just so cute how much he's talking, and Ox is just like, "What? What's going on? Why are you talking so much? Who are you? What?" And Joe ends up bringing Ox to meet his family, and this family ends up making Ox one of their own, just bringing him in to their family, and they end up telling Ox that Joe hasn't spoken in over a year, and he's the first person that he's talked to since something has happened to him, and it was just so beautiful to find that out. And it's just such a beautiful romance, but also, like, it starts at this, as this friendship between Ox and Joe, because Joe is like 8 years old, I want to say, and Ox is 16, and so it's an age gap, but it just starts off with this beautiful friendship until Joe kind of becomes of age, and Ox ends up seeing him differently, and it's just so good. I just really love this book. I need to buy a copy for myself. I can't help but say this was 5 stars. Absolutely amazing. One of the most beautiful books I've read in quite a while. We'll say it gave Twilight a run for its money for like, if I read that in high school, I'd have loved it infinitely more than Twilight. And then let's see. Then we have number 3, right? Yep. That's A Simple Wild by Katie Tucker. I needed to reread this before The Wild at Heart came out, and I did, and I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it again. It was amazing. I love Jonah and Kala. I love the characters in here. Like, Kala is annoying, but it's understandable why she's annoying. She's less annoying in this than she is at Wild at Heart. I will say that. But yeah, 5 stars. Love this reread. Love this book. What can I say? Number 2 is Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. I love Nick and Charlie. This is bigger than the other 2 volumes, but I absolutely love this graphic novel series. I just want to reread them all. This one does deal with heavier topics. Eating disorders, depression, stress, anxiety. It deals with a lot in here. We're used to, like, the really fluffy, light-hearted first couple of books, but this one really dives into the heavier topics, and I really appreciated that. I still have a smile on my face when I think of this series, and I'm really loving where Nick and Charlie are going. It's just so good. The way their relationship is evolving, it's just beautiful. And I mean, obviously 5 stars. This one is set in Paris, right? Yes, Paris. Because they ended up going to Paris for, like, this school trip, which was nice. And it deals with the struggling of coming out. In Nick's case, Charlie is already out, and Nick is struggling with coming out as bisexual. But it's so good. It's so good. I just want to reread these all over again. I can't wait for volume 4. I'm really excited. So that was number 2. So number 1, you're probably wondering what number 1 is. And I will say, it's one of my favorite series. It's the conclusion to one of my favorite series. And that is the Dirty Deeds series by J. Daniels. This is Down Too Deep, number 4 in the series, the last book. And this one deals with a single parent romance. We follow Nathan, who is the owner of this restaurant that it's all It all centers around the series. And Nathan has been dealing with a lot of grief. His wife committed suicide years back after the birth of their daughter. And Nathan has been struggling a lot, and he ends up giving his daughter years ago to his parents, just because he couldn't really handle his grief as well as having to handle his baby. He knew that was wrong, but he just couldn't get out of his grief in order to take care of her. So he ends up giving her to his parents to raise, and his parents at the start of this is just like, we're done. We love her to death, but we've already, raised a child. We want to go on vacation. We've given you plenty of time to grieve, and we just need you to snap out of it long enough to take care of your daughter. So your daughter actually knows you, and she doesn't go her life without you. And yeah, Nathan now has to raise his 2-year-old daughter, and also has to keep running his restaurant, which he works like 24/7. So now he has to find someone to help manage the restaurant while he's gone. He needs to find a babysitter for days that he can't. And he's just struggling now a lot. And then we have Jenna, who is, in the first book, we have Brian, and I can't think of her name, but Brian is our main love interest in the first book, and Jenna is his sister, and she has twins of her own. She's a single parent as well, and she finds Nathan struggling with all of this, and so she offers to help to take care of his daughter while he's at work, for some time. And it's their romance. It's so cute. I love when there's kids involved. For some reason, it just fills my heart with so much joy. I absolutely love this book. I need to own this series for myself, not just in Kindle form. I want physical copies of these because they're just so good. And yeah, what can I say? I loved it so much, and I gave it 5 stars. It was my favorite book of the month. So I didn't manage the under 40 minutes, but I tried. It's less than it was before, so we're just going to get off of this now, and hopefully it'll actually, upload. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this wrap-up. I know it was a long one, and we'll see how March goes. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.